Hello everyone, it's Wednesday. It's October 6, 2021. Welcome to the Day Weather Podcast. Lots to talk about, folks. And today's weather song really, I think, is very appropriate for what's coming. David Bowie's Changes. That song really highlighting what is coming because there's a lot of change coming. Gradual at first, then not so gradual as we go on into next week. So let's take a look. There are three storms that are going to impact the region. The first system is a weak system. A few areas of rain today, especially west of the Continental Divide, Utah, western Wyoming, parts of Idaho, parts of western Colorado. Going to see some showers today down in New Mexico as well. East of the Divide, not much. It's still going to be pretty mild on Thursday and into Friday in many areas. So even with the system moving through, the second half of this week still looks pretty good. Now there's another stronger system that's going to arrive Friday and Saturday. We're going to have some mountain snow and some rain. We could see some high mountain snow, especially in western Wyoming. The higher mountains of eastern Utah, even the Wasatch, could see a little bit of snow up high. And that system will also spread some showers in the plains, and it's going to make the weekend cooler. We have a break in the weather Sunday into Monday. Then the stronger storm that we've been talking about, this is that mid-month change we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. It is going to impact the region beginning as early as Monday, probably peaking Tuesday and Wednesday, but have impacts maybe all the way into Thursday. We are concerned about this storm, and we'll talk to you why. I have a concern about livestock interests. I know it's early in the season, but this is going to be an impactful storm. So stock growers, I just kind of want to put a bug in your ear to watch next week carefully. Obviously, with hunter seasons on the way and this really warm weather we've had in September and early October, really it's been a nice fall. We are concerned about some winter conditions hitting the mountains of the region. We're going to see that as early as Friday and Saturday, so hunters should pay attention to Friday and Saturday up high. Then as we get into Tuesday through Thursday of next week, and beginning as early as Monday night, hunters in the mountains of the region will be getting snowed on, and it could be significant. So keep that in mind. We'll keep you updated here over the next couple of days. Got some more photos to show you. Boy, in town now, the colors really changing across the elevations. A great shot out of Casper. Then another beautiful shot in the Blair Wallace or Vitavue area between Laramie and Cheyenne. Just wonderful colors this fall season. Today's satellite imagery is similar to yesterday, and I'll be showing you this perspective for a while. Here's a little wave coming through right now. Doesn't look like much, and it won't be much, but it will bring about a change. Then you can see there's kind of a line here of enhanced cloudiness. These colors here represent the temperature of the clouds, and the darker the colors, the colder the clouds are, and that a lot of times indicates where the precipitation is going to be. This is the next little low. You can see the swirl here. This will be coming in as we get on into Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. This bigger area of a swirl and this cold air up here north of the Aleutians is going to be the big weather maker as we get on into next week. And as we go forward, today's map shows that little ripple right here, that stronger ripple right there, than the pocket of very cold air up into the Gulf of Alaska and areas north in the Aleutians and along the North Slope. So nothing's really changed from yesterday. This is the system that slides through Saturday. It's an elongated kind of a stretch out system, but there's a fair amount of moisture with it. So there's going to be a good chance of showers, and some of the showers could add up to be quite a bit, and I'll show you that here in a minute. Now going forward into the next 4 to 5 days, this is what the moisture looks like with these first two storm systems. This is a really nice swath of moisture right here in areas that really need it. We're going to see some good moisture in western Wyoming, eastern Idaho, even parts of Utah right there. It's kind of the bullseye. And there will be some high mountain snow here into the higher reaches of Yellowstone, the Wind River Mountains, the Uintas, the higher Wasatch. We'll get into the act. Nice rain. Look at even California. Not a lot, but a little bit of rain, and that's going to be going over the fire areas of the Central Sierras, so that's good news. So good moisture with this next couple of waves. Then here comes the moisture approaching with that next storm system. And this is the snow. This is through Saturday. So we are going to see some mountain snow, even the Sierra Nevadas and up here. So if you're going to be hunting or know somebody hunting up here, they're going to get a little snow on them as we get into Friday night and Saturday night in particular. So that is what happens with the first two systems. Going out further, we're still looking at this stronger storm, which is getting its start up here, coming down and spinning up into a strong storm system in this area right here. It could begin to impact these areas here and the Pacific Northwest as early as Sunday night and Monday. The timing of this, I will warn you, could change. It could move back and forth a day or two, but I want to show you what we see so you can get a handle of what's going to be happening and why we're concerned about this storm. This is the European model forming a deep low over northeastern areas of Colorado. Remember that the biggest impacts with these storms is always northwest of the low center. That's where all of the fun happens with the weather and the dynamics in the atmosphere. So if you're north and west of this center, you're going to have the most impacts. So we're going to focus in right here and show you the different model solutions and show you the differences. This is the European model showing that low over northeastern Colorado. This would be a classic, very intense October storm, producing rain, then significant snow and some significant cold. This is the Canadian model, which has the low more back towards the four corners, but still a very impressive storm, but not maybe as strong. The American model has got the low more over Craig, Colorado, but it's a lot more intense than the Canadian. So if we were to go back, we have one model showing the low here, another model showing the low here, and another model showing the low about here. But you can see that they're really not all that far apart. So when you start to see this agreement where they sort of come together to different model solutions, your confidence level that this change is going to take place is certainly going to be higher than normal. That's why we're talking about this. This is why we were talking about the middle of the month was going to bring about some change. If you were to look at the European model snow forecast, it's crazy. Now, I'm not telling you this is what's going to happen, but when you start to see solutions like this, it certainly raises eyebrows. This would be a major October winter storm for Wyoming, parts of Montana, parts of Colorado, parts of Utah. And I do think we got to watch this area right here and maybe western areas of North Dakota and eastern Montana, depending on which way the system tracks and how much cold air comes in. So we're talking about a significant winter event. And yes, those numbers are the numbers of the predicted snowfall. But again, this is just for display purposes only. This is to show you what the trend is and what the possibilities are, mainly where the snow could fall. That's what I really want you to get out of these graphics. If you were to look at the northern hemisphere, bird's eye view over the North Pole, look at the snow that is forecasted to fall in the next 10 days. Very, very impressive. This is all going to likely impact our weather forecast as we get into November and December, and we'll talk about that in future podcasts. But a very impressive changing of conditions across the northern hemisphere. Now, I want to talk about the 2013 storm because we see similarities with this. I want to make this absolutely clear. I'm not saying we're going to have a repeat of the 2013 October storm, which was a devastating winter storm in South Dakota and northeastern Wyoming with a lot of livestock losses. It was a brutal early October storm. I'm not saying this is going to be the same kind of storm, but what I am seeing is I'm seeing similarities. And when you see similarities, that is something that you use in an analog forecasting toolbox, which is when you see similar situations, that helps you forecast in the future or could be as a guide. This is why we're concerned for hunters and livestock interests. These are the similarities, and these are very important similarities. We were in 2013 with that big October storm. We were at the end of a very strong La Nina that happened in 2011 and 2012. We're still in a La Nina right now. In 2013, it technically was not a La Nina, but it was really close. And we just got out of that 2-year period of a La Nina. So that is a similarity. The sea surface temperatures are very similar now as compared to 2013, and I'll show you that. It was also a very warm September preceding that storm, and the placement and the predicted path of the storm is very similar. So, not saying it's going to be a repeat of 2013, but it could end up being a very intense storm system. Maybe it'll fall apart, but right now we don't see that happening. Now, I want to show you the sea surface temperature anomalies and show you the similarities. There's been some big shifts in the sea surface temperatures, and we'll talk about this later in other podcasts. But here is your strengthening La Nina again with those cold sea surface temperature waters. Notice the colder waters now that have developed in the Gulf of Alaska. This is a big change right here. This is a big change over the last 4 weeks. It was warmer than average. That has started to cool off. Now, I want to show you for what happened October 4th, 2013 with sea surface temperatures. Notice, while the La Nina cool waters are not as intense, it's still cool near the equator. Look at this. Look at this cold sea surface temperature pattern that is right now up in the Gulf of Alaska. This is from October 4th, 2013. This is from October 4th of this year. Okay, so when you start to see these things lining up, even this streak of warmer sea surface temperatures is there in 2013 as well. So we're going to watch this and see how things evolve. And this is what happened. And I know a lot of you who are watching this podcast will remember this storm, especially if you live in South Dakota, North Dakota, or northeastern Wyoming, or down around the Chadron Alliance areas of Nebraska, where this storm really packed a punch. The Black Hills were the bullseye. Now, we may end up seeing the heavy snow with this storm more west or more northwest or more southwest, but it's got a lot of similarities. And a satellite photo shows you where the snow fell with that storm. And if we were to go back and take a look at that graphic there, you can see there's some similarities there. So that's something we're going to watch for you. Stock growers and hunters, be advised. We'll keep you updated as we head into the next couple of days. Have yourself a great Wednesday.